So, a lot of what I'm going to say are just bullet points of what's already been said, and most of you in attendance will agree. My dad was a one of a kind. He was crazy. So I'll try to keep it light. My heart's so heavy because my dad and my friend passed away, and it's just such an empty hole. But anyway, my dad. What would you guys not know about my dad? Maybe some of you guys would know this. He never met a plastic bag for like a trash can that he didn't want to reuse about 50 times. Jodi and I, he lived with us since 2008. He would go through our trash after we threw it away. He would open up the bags and like figure out what we made a mistake in, and he kept things. Bad. What else? Oh. The cans seem to be a recurring theme. He was crazy. He had like 3 bins. He had the bin that was good cans that were going to go back and get their 5 cents or drive them illegally out of state up to Maine. And he had a center bin where all of the cans were damaged and they wouldn't read right. And then he had a third bin where the can was just so damaged he just stomped them and flattened them. But he'd sit there for hours at 5 cents a piece, and he'd take a stick and he'd push the can inside out so it might be worth 5 cents. And I mean, there's so many things. Frugal, you've heard the term thrown around. He was super frugal, but when it was time to spend money and to invest in the things that really mattered, which were not things, but people.
Amen.
That's when his wallet came out and his heart got big. And he had a hard time saying no to people because he didn't want people to be hurting or needing, and he would fill in that gap as he could. So, all right, one more funny story, and then I'll wrap it up with some more serious stuff. Jodi and I, just recently, we had to duke it out with him because he chipped a tooth and one of his teeth fell out of his dentures, and of course, you know, it looks kind of funny when you're missing a couple front teeth on a perfect set of dentures. And so he grabbed the super glue and he started gluing it together, and then that fell out after he hit something hard, and then we had to argue with him. He figured he didn't have much time left on earth, but he didn't even know he was really super sick at that point. We had to convince him to go get another set of teeth, which he did. So he didn't like spending money on himself too much. Everything he had, I had to talk him into it, whether it was a modern TV for his room, even his car, I had to talk him into it, because he figured he could just find some jalopy and keep going with that, but we talked him into that. And now maybe for just a couple more serious things, there's so much to be said, but we're running short on time. My dad had 4 girls, and the 4th one's right here.
Amen.
And he just took my wife under his wing and just loved on her as if she was his very
flesh
own.
and blood.
And she is in every way Roger's daughter, just like my other 3 sisters. And I thank God for that. And I'll just share with you something only Jodi knows about this. I was in a men's quartet for several years. In case you haven't noticed, a couple people in our family sing too. And my fondest memory, it would just break my heart and fill me with joy. I'd be at a concert, or I'd be in the audience and maybe another family member was singing, and I'd find my dad's face.
Amen.
And as the praises went up, the tears were just flowing from his face, and he was just beaming. Like that reached him so deeply that he would be in that presence of praise and worship, and to see his family continue what was already in his heart. That's some of my fondest memories of my dad. Just a couple concerts here, or quartet, or like I was in the audience and maybe another family member was up singing. He was just enraptured with the praise and worship. And I know a lot of people in attendance know what I'm talking about, you know. So I'll leave it at that. I miss him. We all miss him. And I love you, Dad.